Okay. All started back in UK. I had a dream to come to Ghana and go into farming. To be frank with you, I didn't know what it was all about. I ignored the first time. Then within a week, it came again. The dream came again. And I'm somebody who doesn't play with my dreams. The second time, I also ignored it. The third time, I had the same dream. I went back to the office. And I was like, within 10 minutes, I was soaked in sweat. I felt very uneasy. So I called my wife that I needed to leave for Ghana. There was a battle for her to let me go. But I insisted that I had to leave. I left the UK, came to Ghana. I remember very well, I got to Ghana on the 7th of July, the very day that UK was bombed. And for 6 months, I didn't know what to do. I was just in Ghana doing nothing. And my big brother, who also happens to be an Greek person, came to Ghana. We took a trip to the central region. On our way back, we stopped by INC starch factory. And my brother, who also happens to be a cassava breeder, asked whether I wanted to go into agric. And I said, why not? It's something that I've been battling with. So if you think this is the time for me to do it, then why not? So we spoke to INC starch factory. They gave an appointment. They gave me an appointment to come back and talk to the farmer association, which I did. So I got a 80-acre plot to do cassava. So I started cultivating cassava. As we speak, I have about 36 different varieties of cassava. You tell me what you want to use the cassava for, and I will be able to tell you the variety that you can use. Then my first farm manager said, Daddy, why don't you look at vegetables for export? I had no clue. I did not also know the market. So he actually led me to one exporter, may he so rest in peace, Thomas. He gave me Thomas's number. I called Thomas. I booked an appointment to go and see him. I went to see Thomas. Luckily for me, the association members were having a meeting the following week. So he invited me to the meeting. I attended the meeting and I joined the association. At this time, they had brought in new varieties of okra that they were trying. So I took some of the okra seeds and I did a trial. And I fell in love with okra. So that is what I started with, by producing okra for the exporters, because I was not exporting, I was just producing it. And I started putting farmers together. As we speak, I have 3,000 farmers producing for me up and down the country. I go as far as Burkina, Bobo Dioulasso, because I have a farmer group there. Depending on what I want in the course of the year, I have a farmer or a farmer group in an area suitable to cultivate the particular vegetable. So I was just supplying the exporters for them to export. I got to another point. I said to myself, why export? So I started looking at the domestic market. ShopRite came on board, so I was producing for ShopRite right from day one. After 2-3 years, Nearest First Catering also came on board. They are a catering company. They cater for the airlines. So I started producing for Nearest Catering as well. KFC went to Nearest to find out who was supplying them. My contact was given to them. So KFC also came on board. And I continued. From there, I started producing and supplying supermarkets, other hotels. Then, about 2 years ago, I said to myself, why don't you look at the supermarket chain yourself? Why don't you start looking at your own label instead of just feeding into other supermarkets? It was tough because finance was difficult to get. No bank was prepared to help. So I took it upon myself and I said I was going to save towards it. I started saving and I started managing the money that I was getting from my production and supplying. Then last year, myself and my wife decided, you know what, we've had enough of this. We're now going to look at the supermarket ourselves, and this is where we are now. Now we have our first major supermarket in Tema, Community 11, near the police station. Looking into the future, it looks so bright. If you ask me, our current shop size is just about 30 meters square. But if you ask me now, I've even regretted just taking the 30 meters square. Because a year ago, I wasn't too sure how it was going to look like. But a year down the line, now I know size is not a limit. We have 3 shops coming up. One in East Legon, one in Laboni, the 3rd one at North Kaneshi. We're hoping all the 3 shops will be up and running by end of November. What I've tasked the farmers market team to do is to start looking for other shops, but this time we are not going to be looking for 100 meters square because the 3 shops that we have an average of 100 meters square. Now we are looking at 500 meters square for now for our next shop, because we took a trip to South Africa a couple of weeks ago and I visited some supermarket, fruit and veg supermarket, and I think for now, even with the 100 meter square fruit and veg shop that we have, it's not enough. So if we are to tackle any other shop, the minimum should be a 500 meter shop. For the future, we've also targeted that in 2 years' time, we should have a 2,000 meter square shop strictly for fruit and veg, because Ghanaians are discerning, Ghanaians are health conscious, Ghanaians are prepared to pay for quality products, especially fruit and veg, because nobody wants to eat junk and spend money to pay for his or her hospital bill. So Ghanaians are prepared to pay a premium for a good quality fruit and vegetables. So if you ask me, the future for the farmers market, the future looks great and the sky is the limit.
Now when I say farmers market, what does that mean?
Farmers market is a retail unit. And when somebody says farmers market is 100% hygienic, fresh from the farm. Thank you.